Back here on Extra Points. Remember, join us weekdays on WTAJ Plus at 3:30 to 4 o'clock every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We've been doing a lot of guests here on this show, and our latest guest is Luke McConnell. He's the St. Francis men's basketball coach. Coach, we appreciate you joining us. I know the guys are back on campus. You guys had practice today. It's hard to believe, but here we are. Season's already getting underway.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys having me on. And yeah, it's awesome. It's good to get these guys up for the summer. And we just moved in on Sunday and starting to get to work. Excited.
Now, tonight is Game 6 of the NBA Finals, Pacers and Oklahoma City. TJ McConnell is your cousin, Luke, and I think a lot of people in this part of the state understand the history that the McConnell name carries in this state. How cool has it been for you to be able to watch him on this stage?
It has been unbelievable. Just watching his journey from college to NBA and how he continues to just progress, and it's gotten to the point where it doesn't even surprise you anymore. And my whole family is just so unbelievably proud of him. And it's so cool to see it because I follow him all year round, but to see him on the biggest stage of basketball and be able to do what he does is just so cool. I love watching it, and you can kind of tell because it's on the biggest stage. I know when he plays well because I get like texts and stuff like that from people. But even I think it was the other game where he kind of went off for a little bit, and my phone was just blowing up. So it's just kind of cool to see that, and it's been so neat to see.
Now, how exciting have the past couple of months been for your family? Because you just went to the NCAA tournament in March Madness.
Yeah, it's been fun. A lot of good things in the basketball world happening for us. Us going to March Madness. My cousin Megan made the roster with the Phoenix Mercury in the WNBA. TJ going on this run. It's been fun. It's been kind of cool. You get together, family get-togethers, be able to talk, and my family, the McConnell family, is very supportive, text messages and everything like that. So it's been fun.
If you missed it earlier, I believe it was last week, Riley Holsinger sat down with Luke to talk about TJ making the finals and just talk about the relationship. You guys have always been close, right, Luke? You and TJ?
Yeah, we grew up. He is 2 years younger than me. So
when did he become better at basketball than you?
What's that?
When did he become better at basketball than you?
This is so like growing up, we always went, we would always drive into Pittsburgh a lot of the weekends growing up. And then especially it was fun in the summer times. My dad had a camp, his dad had a camp. So all the cousins would pile in a car, go to Uncle Tim's camp, some to my dad's camp, Word on the Rock basketball camp here at Altoona. And so we would all be in the house and just have camp together. And it was always close. I want to say his 8th to ninth grade year, he made that jump. Because all of a sudden I feel like we were playing in the driveway when it was kind of close. And then in ninth grade, he got offered by Duquesne, and it was kind of like, oh, okay, like TJ's pretty good at this, and we're not getting offered by Duquesne. So yeah, I think that was probably the moment we're like, oh, okay.
No, but you got to play football at the Division I level.
I did, yeah. So I'm the weird one in the family. Everybody went and played college basketball, and I took a different path for a little bit. But I like to tell people I got back into the family business, with basketball after I graduated.
And then you ended up leading the team in interceptions one year too, so you weren't too shabby as a football player.
Yeah, I was actually just telling that story the other day. It was actually really funny. Just as a young player, both of those it was 2 interceptions, so it wasn't like anything crazy. Like so let's not go there and say anything like that. But they both happened in the first 2 games of the season. So like as like a young player, I was a junior that year. I'm like looking at the record books and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna break the school record for interceptions. Yeah, I'm looking up. Those are the last 2 interceptions of the year in my career right there. So it was a nice humbling moment for me with that.
You got really excited real quick and came back to reality.
It's a good teaching lesson. Like let's really relax. Like put in the work.
How did you circle back to basketball? Because you grow up in a basketball family, you took your own branch and played football, but then you come back.
Yeah, it was a very unique situation where I went to St. Francis to play football, but my dad actually was the head coach at St. Francis when I was a kid. So I grew up here. I grew up at St. Francis. Never in a million years thought I would come back to school here, let alone play football here. So that was such a cool, unique experience. And then when I got done playing, I was, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And at that time, Rob Krimmel was the head coach of one of my dad's former players, and had a relationship with Rob. And it just was the timing of it. He had an open GA position, and I just approached him and I was like, "Hey, I think I could be good at this." I missed the game of basketball. I played football. I really liked football. It did so much for me, and I take so much from it. But I think my true love was basketball, and I was, so I started and I approached him about it, and he's like, "You know what? I would love to have you." And the rest is history. Went from GA to ops to just working my way up.
I guess what's that journey been like for you, starting out, kind of at the bottom of the totem pole to now being the one leading a program?
I think the cool thing about it, I remember telling him, because it's a bit weird for me. I'm sitting in the office right now that I once knocked on Rob's door. I actually still call it Rob's office, even though it's now my office. I knocked on his door to approach him about the job, and sat in this chair that's right over there to ask him for this job, and thought, "Why I would do a good job." And I just remember telling him, like, let me take care of all this stuff. It was like the operation stuff, running the camps and stuff like that. So you can focus on our guys, recruiting and all that stuff. And I just feel like I've literally done every job in a college basketball program, from GA to ops to assistant coach. There is not one hat that I don't think I've worn. So it's really given me like a great perspective on things and what it takes to run a college basketball program. So to Never did I think at this point would I be at the head coach at St. Francis. I don't even know if you let yourself think about it sometimes. So it's just, it's been a cool journey, and I'm just incredibly grateful for it.
You were a young kid when your dad coached at St. Francis. How though neat is it for you to know, like, you watched your dad come to work every day for the Red Flash. Now you're literally doing the same job.
It is, I don't even know if it's fully hit me yet. It's unbelievable. I was a little kid. I looked up to all the players, Eric Taylor, who I worked with on staff, Rob Krimmel, Tom Fox, Jamal Ragland, all those guys. And I would come to practice, and I just would hang around, and I was like that little kid running around and stuff like that. And to now, I was that kid. I loved coming to basketball camp, and now my brother Tommy's nephews come to camp, and to now have them be around the program, it's really surreal. And I don't think it's really hit me yet. I think maybe that first game or something it will. I don't know. I'll let you know. I'll give you a text or a call whenever that hits me. But
Appreciate it.
I'm still kind of wrapping my head around all of it.
I guess, how unique is it, though, at St. Francis to have so many people stay with the program for however many years? You were an assistant coach for a long time. Rob was the head coach for a long time. It's like everyone seems to stay within the family.
And I got to credit Rob Krimmel for that, because he is one of the best leaders, one of the best mentors I've had in my life. And he just created a culture where he believed in you. Believe is a big word in our program. And he gave you the freedom to learn, grow, make mistakes, and he trusted you. And I just never took that for granted. And I don't think the assistants that were here as well, with Eric Taylor, Andy Helton, Umar Shannon, guys that have come through this program, didn't take that for granted. And he was such a great guy to learn from and work for. And he was so good to you that you wanted to work hard for him. So it was just a wonderful culture that we felt really lucky to be a part of, and wanted to be a part of and work hard for.
And I guess ended up culminating in an appearance in the NCAA tournament. What was that like, knowing, you're behind the bench, you're the associate head coach of a program playing in March Madness?
Dream come true. Literal dream come true. It's something me and my brothers, we grew up selection Sunday, waiting for it to come on. And even back then, we didn't print out the brackets. We would draw the brackets. And as they were being announced, we'd write the names in and, get the USA Today the next day, or whatever, you know what I mean, and fill it out. And then soon you printed the bracket and stuff like that. So just one of the more vivid childhood memories. So to be sitting there at St. Francis on that selection Sunday, hearing our name called, to be a small part of that, was really a dream come true.
I want to circle our conversation back around to NBA Finals Game 6 tonight between the Pacers and the Thunder. Luke, in that piece that you did with Riley Holsinger last week, you talked about how you and TJ as kids used to visualize the Game 7 moment, the need the last second, bucket to win the finals. He's living it. How one, how cool is it watching him live it, and how much have you talked to him since the finals started?
It's unbelievable. Yeah, we would play that game. We called it 10-9-8. You throw the ball off the side of the house, catch it. As soon as you caught it, now it's 1-on-1, 10, 9. And we would just play that game. Me and my brothers played it. We played, when we would come to camps and stuff like that. So this is one of the more fun games we played. It has been so cool. And it's been like he just went off the other night. He had 18 points in the third quarter. And like I said, it just never ceases to amaze me. And I'm just sitting there and I'm just so proud of him. You know what I mean? And I will, he's in finals mode. I will shoot him a text after a game, just be, proud of you, love you. And just little stuff like that, not to overload him with everything, because I know he gets absolutely crushed with text messages. So just little stuff and just tiny little reminders. And, he was so, whenever I got the job and sent me a great message, got the job, that we kind of go back and forth about. And so I was actually joking with him because the one night he went off was the first night that my daughter slept through the night. I have a 2-month-old daughter. So I texted him. I was like, hey, keep that up, because one, it's good for your team, but I think you're the reason why Emma slept through the night. So please, keep it up. You're her. He was like, I'm your sleep trainer. I got you. Like, I was like, you had her at ease. It wasn't like a crazy end of the game. She was able to just relax and fall asleep and slept through the night. So, we were just joking about that, but yeah.
Well, so time for the St. Francis trivia question.
Oh, hold on. Oh, you got ahead of me, man. You got ahead of me. Okay, let's pull.
I'm nervous about this. I don't want to let St. Francis down, but let's
okay, I hit the wrong thing. Yeah, I got it, Zoom. I got it. Jeez, don't interrupt me, Zoom. Okay, let me pull over the question. Luke, today we know St. Francis as the Red Flash, but 100 years ago, that was not the case. What was the initial nickname of St. Francis up until the 1920s?
I gotta go. I think I know this. It's got to be the Frankies, right?
It is not.
Oh,
it is actually the St. Francis Saints.
Oh man, that's a tough one. I thought it was the Frankies for sure. I think Frankies is just like the unofficial nickname, I guess.
Well, Frankie, the mascot's also, the Frankie.
Yeah.
And I learned today in my research here, he wasn't always named Frankie. In fact, when he debuted in the 80s, he had no name. He debuted before they had a name for him. And they ran a contest in the newspaper, like the student newspaper, to come up with the name. So
real creative to go Frankie from St. Francis, that's good. So
super creative.
Oh, St. Francis Saints. I did not know that.
Yeah, they were the Saints. It makes sense, obviously.
Yeah.
Red Flash feels a little more creative. It actually feels a lot more trendy. Like Red Flash feels like the name you give a team, in the 90s after you're trying to make a more PC name.
Yeah, I like it. It's unique. I've never heard of another Red Flash.
I can't think of any off the top of my head. Although the St. John Red Storm feels like they're encroaching your territory.
That's true.
But yeah. I guess we
Come on, Patino.
Yeah. Well, before we get you out of here, Luke, I just wanted to talk to you about, your dad and your uncle a little bit. Your dad obviously was the longtime coach for St. Francis. Your uncle Tim has been a high school coach in the WPIAL for a long time. It was like the star of the broadcast the other night. He had a half dozen appearances. How neat is it to be a part of this kind of family and people know the McConnell name in Western PA?
It's a wonderful thing. It's what I grew up with, so it's what I know, and to see what my family has accomplished is inspiring. And when you have a family like that, you want to live up to that name. You want to make them proud, with everything. So to see them, and not everybody sees everything, but you're able to see behind closed doors, to see how hard they work, the work that they put in, and what it takes to be successful. It's really rewarding to see that that success for them pay off at the highest level, and it's just an enormous amount of pride for that.
He's Luke McConnell. He's the new head coach of St. Francis men basketball. His cousin TJ is in the NBA Finals. Luke, we really appreciate you coming on to talk with us. This has been a fun conversation.
Yeah, thanks.